My question is for Mr. Wyatt in particular. So on Saturday at the New South Wales Liberal Party State Council, Malcolm Turnbull's suggestion that the Liberal Party is not ruled by factions was met by laughter from the audience. So given this response, do you believe that Mr. Turnbull was incorrect and that tensions within the party are an ongoing issue?
There's always factional groups within the Labor Party, and they're quite strong. Within the Liberal Party, what I read the Prime Minister to be saying is that in the leadership debate and the subsequent spill, that wasn't run by particular factions, it occurred. There was a process. And it was fairly rapid. And then we had the party room decision in which members voted, and of course Prime Minister Turnbull won that leadership ballot. Did he do you think he sort of misspoke at this New South Wales Council meeting, because he said there's no factions in the Liberal Party essentially, and all the people in the factions out in the audience laughed at him? Yeah, I think he was talking about the parliamentary members. And certainly we have leanings across that continuum, like any party, where those who have left leanings and those who lean to the right, but often you work together for a common approach. And in that instance, I don't think that the time allowed for any factional aspect of the membership to ever come into play. It was about a leadership choice between Tony Abbott and Malcolm. And so on that basis, that's what he was reflecting. But certainly I know, and I saw the audience react to his comments. And to go back to what the questioner asked, does that mean there are still tensions within the party, and particularly around Tony Abbott's supporters? I think when you have a leadership change, there's always tensions, because there are people who gain, and certainly new portfolio appointments occur, but also change allows you to refresh a party. If we look at the history of all political parties in Australia, when there's a leadership change, there's often a change in the cabinet and assisting ministers. And that, in one sense, brings new talent in. It allows some of the others to have other experiences. But it's always, because somebody's exhilaration at being appointed to a cabinet role means it's somebody else's pain if they lose. And we've got to remember that. And it's a matter of healing people and bringing them back to the greater good of the nation and governing for Australians. OK, well, I'm going to quickly go around the panel. And Lisa, I'm not going to bring you up on the Liberal factions, because you've had your own problems with the Labor Party factions, indeed. Maybe you'd like to just reflect on the nature of factionalism in parties, and in your case in particular.
Well, Tony, I think
there'll be people who are watching you tonight wondering how the Labor Party could have done what they did to you.
Look, I think factions are a natural phenomenon that occur in political parties, and obviously are very alive and well in the New South Wales Liberal Party, as we saw on the weekend. And they are in the Labor Party as well. But I think that when there is a certain, few at the top, perhaps within that faction, that kind of dictate to members how things should be, how people should vote, rather than, entrusting members to vote how they see fit according to their own values or conscience, that's when I think there's a problem. And I think that's a debate that's worth having. It's a debate you should have in Tasmania, is it? Because you end up being replaced by a middle-aged white male from the AMWU, and I'm wondering what that tells you and us about the modern Labor Party. Well, as I said, it's a debate worth having.
You want to go any further than that at this point in your career?
Well, obviously, Tony, it's very disappointing. But the disappointment's not just shared by me, it's shared by some of my caucus members, by Labor Party members, by the community. Pre-selections are never an easy thing. I think we'll all attest to that. But, for me, I'm 43 years old. I've still got just about 2 years left of my Senate term. There's still a lot I want to do. I've still got a lot of passion for ideas and a lot to contribute, so we'll see what goes on after that.
Adam Bandt, now, if there were no such thing as factions in the Greens, you'd probably be the leader.
Well, we have differences of opinion, we have groupings, but I don't think we have factions in the way that we
don't call them factions, you call them groupings.
Well, no, they're not factions. They're not factions in the way that someone from on high comes down and says, this is how you're going to vote. Yeah. And factions are the reason that we're not having a vote on marriage equality at the moment. I mean, there are factions in the Liberal Party. The hard right helped put Malcolm Turnbull in, and they've got him by the short and curlies at the moment, and he's been required to say, I'm going to not have a vote on marriage equality. Factions in the Labor Party means that even though all three leaders of our political parties at the moment support marriage equality, we're not allowed to have a vote on it because the people in the Labor Party are entitled to go and vote and cross the floor as well. So I don't think they're a good influence on the political system.
OK, we've heard from the three